My name is Howard Kahale Pe'a. My father is John Lona Makahinua Pe'a from Kalapana. And my mama is Mary Kaiave Manuia. And her father was Kalei Manuia. And her mother was Lili Kikino Kamawoha. And I had the best mom. I have my wife Charlene Pe'a. I am so grateful. I have my wife here, and as the topic we're going to talk about is our mother. You know, there's a song go, when my mother calls me, quickly I obey. Yeah, when my mother calls me, quickly I obey. My mother, when she calls you in that time, those days they don't teach the children, they train them. Yes. They don't teach, they train. And when I say train, yeah, you have some disciplinary actions. And then they get the little stick. You know, if you don't listen, yeah, you get deaf ear, we call them, look in here. And your mother will make sure that you can hear them. But before I go into that, I'd like to explain about a mother. And I'd like to talk about my mom. My mom is Mary Kaiave Manuia. And she came from a very distinguished family. Her father was a bodyguard to the Queen of Keaukaha. She had 10 bodyguards, and he was a 10 key. Means you can kill 50 men. So she came from a very prestige family. Her mother was Lili Kikino Kamawa. She was only 90 pounds, and she was a lay sailor. And when the Lurleen, the ship comes right where Puhi Bay is, and she used to bring her lay and sail. And then she get her finale thing she does for the tourists. Then she take her clothes off, get her shots, everything, and she jump into the ocean and she spear one squid, and she bring up and she show to the crowd. And then all the kanake, all the money come to her because she had 9 grandchildren. Each child get one candy, one kanake. And there was my grandma. She made sure that each grandchild had a candy. My grandma, she used to fish on this ocean. Yeah, before she go to the ocean, she puli come here anyway. Then she get her ukana, and then the dog would follow her. And before she depart, she puli come here. And then when she go into the ocean, she go get this plant, rub into her bamboo goggles, and then before she go into the water, she fully come here. And then she go into the water. She put her hand into the cave, she pull the fish, bite the head, and throw over the shore. Now remember, she has how many grandchildren? 7 or 9 grandchildren. She'll only catch 7 or 9 fish. And there was my grandma. She would go into the Pana'ewa forest and look for the maile to make the lay. What a woman. And then my mother. Oh, my mother. My mother is a mother of 14 children. Yeah, 14 children. Yeah, my mother. Yeah. My mother was family first. Yeah. Family first. My mama was very obedient to my father, John. My father was a policeman. My mama was a farmer. But my mother made sure the house was clean. She made sure the food was prepared. So when you look at that, like my grandma and my mother, what are mothers? Mothers are the matriarch of this universe. Explain, Uncle Howard. The man is the patriarchal order. Means the life that we have here is a big purpose. It's not something we would fly out of the sky and the whole family came about. No. My father and my mother came from a patriarchal order. If you do your moku'auhau, they call it the genealogy. You want to talk about his father and what they did, and her mother and what they did. And so the only time you're going to receive objectives in life is by your parents. It's the only time you're going to have the objectives taught to you. And who would teach you that? Yeah, the mama. Yeah. What is the mother role? Yeah, the mother is the one that nourish. She's the one that teach and feed and care and do it. Yeah. You know, we have 7 children. I wanted 20, but my wife told me, no, you only want to get 7. And so I said, okay, we're going to have 7 children. And we had 7 children. And so my wife, as I said, is the mother. The children all listened to the mother. I made sure my wife and I had one law. And the children knew when Daddy not home, and when Mama say, you folks going to do this, they are going to do it. You know why? Because Daddy going to agree. And so when you have the Mama and the Father together, it becomes one. And that's how the family becomes part. When the Father honors the mother. Let's talk a little bit about the father. What is the father's role? He is a protector. He protects her. And he provides to her. That's his job. Mother is the nourisher. She's the one carry the baby. She the one take care of the baby. She the one teach the baby, as Uncle Howard said. The only time we get objectives in life is by your parents and through your mother. The mother is the nourisher. She feed, she teach, she love, she discipline. What does the father do? He support her. And that's how it should be. But the mother has the hardest work. Without our women, all of this would not exist. Yes, the man, the Kani, they have that part of creation, procreation. And I told her, then I would deliver the baby. I carried the baby in my old pool. And she told me, yeah, right, you only last 1 month and you die. I tell you, yeah, you're right. Man's a bunch of whims. I'm going to tell you again, sorry man, we bunch of whims. When come for that time to be able to carry the child and to take it through the 9 months. And so with that note. Well, we're right in the heart of my parents' place. We're right in Keaukaha. They're beautiful Keaukaha. If you make a left right here, you're going to see Puhi Bay. Yeah, my grandfather was camping down Puhi Bay. My grandfather on my father's side come from Kalapana, and he heard the news that the Hawaiian homes, the government will give land to the Hawaiians. And so he was camping here in 1927, and when the word said, hey, all you Hawaiians, come, put your stake. My grandfather walked right across Kalani Anaole, put his stake right here on this beautiful, wonderful lot. And that's where we at, my mama's place. My mother and my father taught us, as I said, the objectives of life. You know, I had this this young man, he comes from a different place, and he wanted to marry my daughter. They live 6,000 miles away from us. And when he came on the phone, he said, Daddy, I told you. And then I said, you put my daughter on the phone. When my daughter came on the phone, you know what she said? Yes, Dad. And then he tells me, wow, she loves you. You know why she loved her daddy? Because her daddy loved her mama. That's why she loved her daddy. Because her daddy loves her. And so the world today, they're not carrying the tradition of the matriarchal as the woman. She's the nourisher, and the patriarchal order, he's the protector and the provider. So what happened? What happened to them? Well, I tell you what. You know, those days you gotta go find your own food, no? Yeah, no more Safeway and all these other stores, no? And then when all these luxury things came, everything became easy. And so what happened? You know all the objectives, the one Uncle Harry talked about, the do's and the don'ts, where mother and husband work together, talk to each other, make sure you get one law. What happened? Yeah, all that thing disappeared. Like today we get the COVID. Oh, as the Portuguese, oh my Deus. What happened? Yeah, what happened? How come the family don't pray together? No, nobody pray. Yeah, nobody pray together. Yeah. That's the spiritual part of the family. But what happened to the matriarchal order and the patriarchal order? And you can see it today. Yeah, the father is not the protector and the provider. He's not. We do have many fathers are protectors and providers. But when you look at the world, who suffered? The woman. Yeah. Let me continue my story. Who carried the baby? The woman. Who nourished the children? The woman. Not the man. It's what the man's position. He's supposed to nourish and take care of her. So when she give birth, she raise the children. Yeah. Everything come in harmony. If she doesn't have that support from the Kani, who become the protector? She become the protector. She become the provider. And she become the nourisher. Look all the burden gonna be on her. Lots of that, what happened? Spouse abuse, children abuse. And so, the mother has her role, the father has to play it. Yeah.
But I had the greatest opportunity of having all 7 children in a matter of 8 years. Because my husband, he was always there. And as I looked, even when I started work after they all were grown and ready to graduate from high school, I had the opportunity of meeting all the young girls or the young mothers come into our workplace and work, while the boys or the men that they had, mostly boyfriends, that they had their children from, that they were all at home. They had the hardest part of trying to keep the family together.
And just what's happening. When the father do not play his role, then who takes the role? She gotta take all. And that's what the women is going to do right now. At this moment. Well, you know, Charlene and I, we're good examples.
Yeah.
Yeah. As she said, I used to play music in Mauna Kea. I worked 2 jobs all my life. Even even though I was down there at night, I called her up. I made sure that she was okay with the children. And if she needed help, I called my brothers and sisters. Hey, go down my house. My wife need help. And I make sure I follow up with her every day. If there's any problem, whatever, don't come to her. Whether it be the school, whether it be the family, they come to me.
We just had our 48th wedding anniversary. We had 4 girls. 3 of them are married. I just tell them, you know your husband. And you just have to work it out. That's how it is. Not all the time you might agree. But it's just a matter of coming together at the end of the day. As my husband always said.
She's the matriarch, so she has the right to talk to the girls about the matriarch of the women. Because one day they're going to be old. And so when, as I said, the only time you get the objectives in life is by your parents. And so she gives her kuleana, her responsibility to the girls. What is important? When you get married, she already made it clear. And then when I meet the husband, I make it clear to him. So when he meets Uncle Hart with my voice, and when I look, he says, oh, I'm in trouble. This father is looking straight at me. And I do have expectations for the men. And I tell them, this is my girls. They're our treasure. We do not abuse. If abuse, the daddy will come. You and I, as a man, we're going to talk story. And so, sometimes it's hard. You try not to come into that because then you're going to divide the family. You don't want to divide them. So, I make sure I make it clear what the expectation that we have. But other than that, I respect him. I make sure I have a relationship with him. And make sure him and I were good. And so that's what I do with all my son-in-laws. I love them, I support them. And then sometimes my daughters, they compare. And I told my daughters, you don't do that. But Daddy, you did this for us. I said, stop it. Every man has the gifts in them. One day when they find out who they are and what they are, a lot of times the man, if they had some issue, they didn't play the role, it's because maybe the father never played his role. Uncle Hart called him the grandfather's curse. And sometimes grandpa, he abused grandma, and what you think? Daddy gonna abuse mama. And then your husband, gonna abuse you. Yeah, I call it the grandfather's curse. So, to the women, if you find a husband, make sure you use God to help you. Don't look with your eyes. And so God was always in our lives. We had our children, was always in prayer. And we fully come here and do it. That's what I learned from my mama. That's why I love my mom. She gave that spiritual part in our life. We get the physical and we get the spiritual. And that's, I call them the Wi-Fi, the one pay. And so my mother taught us just like her mother. And so that's what's missing here today. They do not connect that Wi-Fi to the Creator. And through Him, that's how we get the matriarchal and patriarchal order. That's His way of make sure everything comes in harmony. And so it becomes like the responsibility. And because of all of that, what happened? There's a purpose. And what's the purpose? Happy family.